Hey, welcome everybody. I told you guys I might do it Unleashed tonight. Now, I was going to do it on the Great Debate Community channel, but you know what? I'm going to do it on this one instead. So, anyways. Oh my God, that coffee's hot. As you guys know, my Unleashed is just me ranting about whatever. I had put this post up in our Facebook group earlier. This was something that I wanted to kind of do a similar thing that I had done before, right? I did a challenge a while back to Katie Joy Paulson's subs and her fans and her moderators, and that was basically, hey, if you think that she's not lying to you, then ask her for evidence of this stuff, because every time anybody's ever asked her for any kind of evidence, she's provided none. And what she does try to provide is just indirect, nonsensical, out of context, narrative type stuff, right? There's never any direct evidence. So I'm going to do something the same thing again, but I'm going to do it a little more straightforward, because I came up with 10 things that I know she has no evidence for. I mean, I know legit that these are straight up nothing she has evidence for. And so I'm going to be talking about each individual one and kind of explain to you guys why there's no evidence for it, and why, if anybody asks her, and by the way, I'm not saying to go harass her, because last time I did that, she was like, well, Steve's saying, hey, go harass me about evidence. No, not at all. I'm just saying that if somebody thinks that she's not telling the truth, go ask her. Or I should say, if they think that she's telling the truth, go ask her. Because you're never going to get any evidence. I guarantee it. I know I'm a machine today. Well, you know what? I was really tired before. I wasn't on my game. I've been drinking coffee, just straight black coffee with some sweet and low in it for since then, 2 hours. And so I'm a little more wide awake now, a little more animated. So hopefully this Unleashed will be a little bit better than my Law of Logic thing, which by the way, I thought I did okay on, but yeah, you know, it's one of those things, right? I mean, it's really hard to explain that kind of stuff, right? But, you know, this is all kind of hooked in together. And who's messaging me? Oh, okay. All right, so here we go. So these are the top 10 things that I thought a shred of non-existent evidence that Katie Joy refuses to provide to her followers. If any of the followers or mods or have any evidence of these things, they almost always get, by the way, I know I've got an A there. I fixed it, okay? They almost always get demodded and blocked, should they insist upon seeing the evidence. And again, if they are ever providing any evidence, it's pretty much just some hangout that I did a long time ago that was taken out of context, or something ridiculous that has nothing to do with anything. There's never any direct evidence. So here we go. So far to date, now one person has shown us the evidence provided by Katie Joy when asked. Several people have said they've been blocked even for asking. Now that's a fun fact as well. I've had numerous ex-mods of her come over and say, you know, they try to get some evidence for this stuff and they weren't able to get any. Things Katie's followers and non-followers are waiting for evidence of. And again, not just her followers or her subscribers. This is something I'm waiting for evidence too. A lot of stuff's going to be coming out. I wanted to do this before tomorrow because I have a meeting tomorrow with Sherelle. Sherelle has said that she's going to continue with the plans that we have. She might not. I don't know. It's 50-50. But the last thing I heard, and people have been asking me, is Sherelle going to continue the series? As far as I know, yes. That's the last thing she said to me. But I know there's been a lot of stuff going on, and I know that they personally have gone after and attacked her. So if she decides not to, I totally understand. I get it that she didn't sign up for this, right? She didn't sign up to understand how bad these people go after people that dare stand up to them. I'm not afraid of her. This is why I do Unleashed. I'm not afraid of her. I wasn't afraid of her back then. I'm not afraid of Katie Joy now. I will never be afraid of Katie Joy. And this is why I do what I do. This is why I at least have all this stuff out there and let people evaluate what they want. I've always been truthful on this. People that know that's been around my channel know I've always been truthful. And here's 10 things that I guarantee there's literally no evidence of whatsoever. All right, so let's go through these. And by the way, feel free in the live chat to kind of weigh in on this, right? Yeah, I've gotten a lot more followers. Now, I know that a lot have come from Sherelle. I looked at my analytics, and the video that I had with Sherelle did about 5,000 views, which is a little bit more than usual. So I'm sure that a lot have come over from her. I am getting some weird comments from some Hindu type things, some gaming stuff. I've already put a report in from YouTube. I'm having YouTube do a full analysis and eliminating and purging any fake accounts or dead accounts or any comments like that. So I've already taken care of that. I've even recorded the conversation I've had with YouTube and the feedback that you use for reporting such a thing. So I've recorded that, and I have that all on record. So That's funny, Todd. All right, so let's go through these, and maybe Monia can kind of help us out. I see her out there. So, number one, a shred of evidence that I've ever sexually harassed her. This is one of the big ones. Now, she has changed her story 6 times since the initial allegation that I've sexually harassed her. The very first time she mentioned it, and again, I have all this written down. All this is documented. It's in a database, and I have a full story that's going to be going out eventually on this. The first time she ever mentioned this was in a video, I believe it's called Resurrection. It was a week after Kyle had removed me and Bullinator from the channel. It was in the live chat. It seemed spurious, seemed spur of the moment, and people started asking her about it. And she didn't have much information on it. She basically kind of just said, well, believe me, and that's it. Later on, people started asking for details, and then the details got it very convoluted. First, it had to do with a tweet that was directed towards Mercedes Carrera. Then it became a conversation that supposedly happened in a pre-hangout with myself, her, Bullinator, and Kyle. Never happened. Bullinator was in both the times. I was only in 2 pre-shows with her, and Bullinator was in both of them. And he has said none of this have ever happened. Kyle never supported her on this. There's literally zero evidence of any sexual harassment of any kind. And I'm not going to give up on that. I will never give up on that, because that is something that basically I take very seriously. You know, I really take very seriously my I want to say honor and integrity, but it's not, because when you're being accused of something like sexual harassment, no matter how much honor, how much integrity you have, that is a vile thing to be using against somebody, because there are people in this community that have been actual victims of sexual harassment, actual victims of sexual assault. And it doesn't really matter how it affects me. What I care about is how it affects them, how it affects friends like like Monia, how it affects friends like Sweet Heathen, like Cheshire. That's how that's why I'm doing this. How it affects me, yeah, okay, sure. It's a heinous thing to be accused of, but it affects actual victims, and they know she's lying about it. Because if she ever had any shred of evidence that ever happened, where the hell is it? Where's the recording? Where's the people that were involved in this? They're nowhere to be found. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. Oh, hey, Mr. Serious. About time a moderator shows up. Number 2, a shred of evidence that I've ever committed fraud, medical or otherwise. Strange, isn't it, how that I have still medical, and Kyle was found liable for fraud, not me. Now, I had shown Katie Joy all the evidence that there was no fraud at all from the very beginning. People that have seen my messages with Kyle know there was no fraud from the very beginning. They know that he lied about it. She actually knew that he lied about it, and she even said in a statement that he lied to her about it. But then later on, first she apologized to me for it. Then she issued a video on it. And then she retracted the video. I uploaded that video to the Great Debate community. She struck it, which, again, I am on record as saying she was fully allowed to do. She claims that I stole it. Well, look, it was supposed to be a video apology to me, right? So, I mean, I kind of wanted it out there. It was directed to me, and I wanted to see if her apology was legit. Well, guess what? It wasn't. Hey, Team Mom Shade Room, how you been? I hope all is well with you. I need to get a hold of you when you get a chance, so if you have my email still, please message me. Oh, yeah, and by the way, I can't forget Ayamoon. She's a victim of sexual assault. She's also why I'm doing this. So it's not just for me. It's for people that have actually been accused of these things, or actually have been harmed for these things. So when you're using things like sexual assault and sexual harassment as a weapon, just to further your own agenda, whatever, you're harming me minimally. What you're doing is you're harming the people that I care about. And I will not stop on that. So why is it I still have medical? Why is it that, there's no indication of any kind of fraud whatsoever? I mean, my taxes are paid. And why is it that Kyle got found for fraud, fraudulent conversion, unfair and deceptive trade practices, breach of fiduciary duty, and breach of contract? Nothing on me. Go figure, right? So I would like to know what evidence she has of fraud. What evidence did Kyle have of fraud? Because if she was relying on Kyle's word that I had committed fraud, why hasn't Kyle ever produced any evidence of that? He didn't even submit it to the court. Nothing. The court records, he had a 30-page document, a 30-page letter to the court. Not a single thing in there was evidence of any kind of fraud or malfeasance. Nothing. There's nothing. Well, why is that? Oh, wait, because he made the whole thing up. He made the whole thing up from the beginning. Balloon knew this. I knew this. Red knew this. He didn't want to show the books. He had absconded with the money. He's used it for other things. That's why he never wanted to pay me. Area 85 restorations, $5 because F. Kyle and Unirock, keep doing what you're doing, Steve. I'm never going to stop doing what I'm doing. When Katie Joy says this is somehow harassment or something, that's bizarre to me, because when you're telling the truth, that's not harassment. And she said, before, if you're telling people the truth, then that's just criticism. That's fair criticism. And that's what I do. Now, other channels will lie in order to get views and subs. That's fine. Let them. I don't care. That is of no consequence to me whatsoever. But I will put out the factual information. And yes, I do have this all on record. And yes, there's a court case out there that anybody can go to in North Carolina court, type in my name, and you can find it in the North Carolina public system in Guilford County. All this is documented. So I'd like to know, what does she have that says I've committed fraud, when I had her saying on record that she knows Kyle lied to her about this? So how is, after the fact, that Kyle lied to her about it? Kyle lied about having a lawyer. Kyle lied about having a CPA. Kyle lied about sending my videos to a non-existent lawyer. And yet she's still now going back on this whole thing that I somehow committed fraud. Where is this fraud? Number 3, a shred of evidence that I have a troll group that harasses her. The group that I have, that I'm now the admin on, because Tina was the other admin, she's taken a break. Why? Because of harassment. Why? Because people from Katie Joy's side of the fence have been going after her. And I don't blame her for away. Let them come after me. I'm used to it. But Tina wasn't used to it, and she needed a break. I respect that. But that's not a troll group. Matter of fact, it is the antithesis of a troll group. Anybody who's in that group knows this. Matter of fact, I have moderated it such that I don't allow certain posts to be had unless they're factual, correct, have evidence, and there's some reasons for it, right? It's to document the historical revisionism of Katie Joy Paulson. It has nothing to do with anything else. It has absolutely nothing to do with mockery or harassment or calling people out. Now, I just recently found out that when that first group started, that when Ashley Simon or Ashley Jones from whatever show she's on started it, there was some negative comments on there. I had nothing to do with that. That was before I even got into the thing or became an admin. I didn't become an admin until the day after Ashley left. And what happens is, when Ashley left, you can actually go to YouTube or a Facebook, and there's a little thing in there that says, make me an admin of this group, and there's no admin for it. She did not give me the group. So anybody who said, hey, Ashley Simon gave the group to Steve, they're wrong. That's completely wrong. And by the way, it never had anything to do with Teen Mom. At all, ever. I've never watched Teen Mom, never seen a single show of Teen Mom or 16 and Pregnant or any of those. And if I did, who cares? But Katie Joy and Kyle trying to run this narrative that I watched Teen Mom. One, I don't understand. Even if I did, who cares? I don't see a problem with this. I mean, like, if you want to watch Teen Mom, knock yourself out. I don't judge you. Not a show I watch, but I don't care if you do. I don't think any less of anybody who watches those kind of shows. So why does it matter that if I watch those shows or not? I might just start watching them just to piss people off like them. So they can say, hey, look, Steve's watching Teen Mom. Yeah, so what? But I don't watch them. Failed in Engineering, $2. Didn't they dox Tina workplace? They've done a lot of stuff to Tina, and I'm not going to get into the personal things that's happening with her. But they viciously are going after Tina. They're viciously going after Sorrell. They're viciously going after anybody that stands up to them. But you know what? I'm not afraid of them. Let them come after me. I have no qualms fighting the good fight, and I have done so for years. The only reason I step back is because the community said we need a pause, and that I needed to step back for myself because it was a bit overwhelming. You have no idea the viciousness of these people. They're outright, I would say, the incarnation of evil. Right? But the differences between them and other people that are just evil people is that these people will actually go after you in your real life. They will actually do things to you in real life. They will actually go after your work, your family, your landlords, your friends. I've seen it. Sweet Heathen just got, rid of her Facebook page for the same reasoning. Now, I can't directly attribute that to Katie Joy Paulson, but it's all interconnected, right? So these trolls will do this. And then what they do is they project it. They're like, oh, well, Steve has a troll group. No, I don't. It's not a troll group. And I dare anybody to show any evidence I've ever asked them to do anything. Ever go out and harass anybody. Ever go out and vote down a video. Ever go out and try to bully anybody. One person. I dare one person to give me any evidence that's ever happened. You know why they can't? Because it never has. The most I've ever done in one time, I have said, when Sherelle had Katie Joy on, I had said, can you go over to Sherelle's video and let her know that I wanted to talk to her? That's it. That's not harassment. And that's not even me telling people what to do. It was, can you do this? You know, if that's the worst thing I've ever done, okay, I'll take it. But nothing wrong with that. There's nothing illegal about that. It's like, hey, I want Sherelle to know what's really going on. And by the way, once Sherelle found out what's really going on, she's even flabbergasted and she's stunned. She didn't know what she was getting herself in for. I respect that. If she decides to back out, my heart goes out to her. I got to tell you, Sherelle is one of the nicest people I've ever run across in my life. She is legit nice. But she's also the kind of person that I think if she ever did get upset and you cross paths with her, she's going to destroy you. So I never want to upset her. But she was really kind to me. But I understand this was a little bit too much for her. People don't know what they're getting into when they want to defend themselves and they want to expose people that are this viciously, brutally dishonest. Area 85 restorations, $5. You were non-sec, in my opinion, even before all this. The meat and potatoes of the show was you and your guest. Kyle was never anything but frosting. I've heard that before. Look, there was a good synergy between Kyle and I. I'm not going to front. It was a very diametric type relationship, right? But we brought very different skill sets to the table. I'm not very good at graphics. People know this. I've never claimed to be. I did some CGI, like I did the dumpster thing with Res Rhetoric, but I'm not the best at the graphic type stuff. Okay, that was his area, and I give him full credit for it. And I've said he's done some wonderful work on it. Of course, it's not $20,000 worth of accounts payable that he lied about. He's already padded the accounts payable, which is, to me, fraudulent bookkeeping, which we'll get, address in court in due time. But we played off each other really well. Now, granted, I have a new person for that, Cheshire, Kyle 2.0, that, we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but that's going to help the show once we get the non-sequitur show back, which should be hopefully a day or so after Kyle gets arrested for contempt of court, because I think if he goes to court and he hasn't done all this stuff by now, the judge says he will do everything up to incarceration. Once that happens, Kyle goes to jail. Then he had to get out of jail. He has to remedy it, and the only way to remedy it is to comply with the court's wishes. So that's what I'm hoping happens. We won't know until after June 1st, though. Yeah, Mr. Serious, Steve brought the best 5% that he could bring. Thank you. Thank you. Super Mommy 74 Advocate, who, by the way, used to be a mod and a huge supporter of Katie Joy Paulson, could probably tell Katie Joy Paulson could probably tell you that everything I've said is completely 100% true. Katie Joy Paulson used Steve as she uses everyone. She is shameless and psychopathic. I am absolutely convinced that she has psychopathy. Absolutely 100% convinced she has narcissistic personality disorder. Now, I am not a medical professional. I'm not claiming to be. And I'm not saying she's harming anybody else by her psychosis, but she has paranoia. She has delusions. I don't understand how anybody cannot see that, but if they don't, that's their thing. They will fall for it. I had somebody message me today that says, look, I'm a very empathetic person, but Katie Joy, seemed to be friends of mine, and all of a sudden she just treated me like crap. What the hell happened? And I told her, this is what Katie does. She has two kinds of people that she goes after. One, she goes after people that are just evil people, right? And collects those. And those people are also psychotic and also enjoys trolling and hurting people. She fosters that. She enjoys that. The other kind of people are just the opposite. They're very empathetic, kind people. She'll take advantage of it like a typical cult leader would, right? Because it's kind of like a bad parent or something. You love them, but they treat you bad, or a bad relationship. She's masterful at these types of manipulations, and this is what I've seen. The dichotomy of people. So not everybody that follows her are some bad person. Some people follow her because they are really good people, and they really do want to feel bad for her. That's what she preys upon. She wants that attention. She wants that negative attention. Now, she has said she's going to get some kind of real weird restraining order. She's going to sue me, whatever. Look, fine. Do what you got to do. Everything I've said is my opinion. Everything I've said is in fair use. This is not harassment by any stretch of the imagination. I'm asking for evidence of her claims, right? I'm asking for evidence of her claims. That's it. Because she has accused me of all these things, and I have yet to see anything that even remotely constitutes evidence. What she tries to do is take things out of context. She tries taking things I've said in Hangouts out of context. That is not evidence, right? If you're going to try to use my own words against me, I have a right to clarify and put in context for you and anybody else what I have said. If there's evidence, where's the direct evidence? Where's what she would bring to a court of law? Because her indirect evidence of her taking my stuff out of context is not construed as evidence. Okay, so that to kind of put a lid on that troll group, it's called Without a Freaking Clue. I can't make it public. I wanted to, but you can't make a private group public after like 250 subs or something like that. So I can't make it public, but it's open to anybody. Even KJ supporters can come in. The only thing is you can't lie for her, and you can't. This is not a debate group. That's it. It's not a debate group. We're not there to point out and argue with people if Katie, is lying about anything. It's to record her lies and her contradictions. That's what it's for. The same thing with the Without a Crystal Ball commentary account, which, by the way, she called in the other day. Not me, not Cheshire. Go figure. And that person has been around a long time prior than we are, right? So Super Mommy 76 Advocate, you were a mod for her. I mean, it's just not exactly what you've seen, because I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of mods leave her and come over to my channel and say, hey, look, we were sent over here. I even have her actually saying, go over to Steve's channel and, let them know. I think it was when I was going to have Fancy on. She said, call out the troops. That's what she calls them, the troops. Now, I ended up not talking to Fancy, but recently I've talked to somebody else who was one of the producers with Fancy on the whole Gypsy Rose case in proxy. I might dive into that again, but I'm going to try to wait to get the Non Sequitur show back first, okay? All right, so number 4, a shred of evidence that I or Cheshire ever faked any emails or screenshots. That's just straightforward. I wouldn't even begin how to fake emails. Now, I could probably figure out how to do screenshots with generators, although I think there are ways of determining that they come from a fake generator. But I'm sorry, when did this ever happen that I faked anything? Oh, wait, it didn't, because it never happened. I'm sorry, but throwing out random accusations that somebody faked something is BS. I don't even do that. I have never accused anybody of making fake screenshots or fake emails without having some kind of justifications for it. The only person I've ever said I'm not even going to get into that. There might be somebody that is a McCrazy that might have made some fake stuff, but I can't document that, so I'm not even going to throw that accusation out there. But it had nothing to do with the original screenshots we were talking about. Had nothing to do with the email, what we're talking about. But I never did any of that. Where's the evidence that I did? I can tell you right now. You can ask any people that I know. Ask my best friends, Bullinator, Reds, Cheshire, Manya, the Serrated Kiss, Sweet Heathen. Ask any of them. Not any one of them would even say that I've done such a thing. And so I mean, if I have this weird troll group and people that I trust explicitly, because I love these people, I'd give them my kidneys if I needed to. Well, just one. Sweet, I'll get both. But the rest only get one. Why is it that none of them would ever even... Bullinator doesn't lie. Bullinator is one of the most honest people I know. You ask him, hey, has Steve ever asked you how to hack or screenshot or do fake screenshots or fake emails? Nope. The only thing I've ever went to him was to say, hey, I'm making a video on how to detect fake emails, which was very basic. I mean, there was much more complexity that I could have gone into, but I want something very basic, and I asked for his opinion on it because I wanted to know if a certain email was legit or not. That's it. That's it. So anybody who says I faked anything, okay, sure. Where's the evidence for this? There's none. There's none. Yeah, I guess she's been hacked like 15 times on her Instagram, hacked into her Twitter. Now, I'm not saying that never happened once or twice. I know somebody right now that they have a picture of somebody's emails like that of them being hacked. Okay, it can happen. Okay. But she probably had it happen once, and then now it's 20, 30 more times, right? I've never been hacked. All my passwords are super encrypted or large, strong things, and they all have two-party verification. Who has hacked 15 times? And who in a live chat gets hacked like in real time? It's like, oh, wait a minute, they're trying to hack me. No, it doesn't work like that. None of it works like that. I mean, granted, you're going to have some kind of, I think it's Livewire or Wivelive or Wivelive, I don't know. Some program that Duelinator told me that exists that actually will monitor your reports. But I'm pretty sure Katie Joy has nothing like that. And I just find it bizarre that she's like, oh, I'm being hacked right now. Oh, my God, kind of thing. Residence is $20. The worst thing about Steve is that he can be a bit of a gas bag sometimes. Yeah, I bloviate. I admit that. But you know what? I'm feeling really better, much better than I was earlier today because I'm high on coffee. And it's just straight coffee, by the way. And sweet and low. So I get a little more animated. I wasn't feeling that great earlier. And so my presentations on the laws of logic didn't go as smooth as I wanted it to be, but it's not LimeWire. LimeWire was that, what was it? LimeWire was that peer-to-peer network thingy. That's what LimeWire was, right? All right, so number 5, a shred of evidence that I have multiple Twitter accounts. I have 2, and one has a dozen tweets, no retweets, and no DMs. That's true. I'm not any of those people that she's accused me of. And you know why? You can actually check IP addresses. Well, I can't, but the FBI could. The police can't. Go ahead, knock yourself out. You find nothing. Nothing. I have 1 Twitter account that I use. The other one it's barely used. It has no retweets. Nobody's ever DM'd me on it, and I've never DM'd anybody on it. That's it. And only 2 people know about it. It's nothing to harass. It's nothing bad. It's just a little comedy thing that I have. That's it. That's it. No, it's not Gumby. Yeah, I only have 1 Twitter account that I use consistently. I don't have any stock accounts that I go to post things. Like I said, the other one that I have has never tweeted to anybody. It's only been stuff that I just kind of put out every so often, and I think I've had like 12 tweets on it over the year. So yeah, it's nothing. But you know, I keep it just in case I need it for something as a backup. But yeah, my main account's the only one I have, people. So where are all these people saying that I'm like this person and that person and that person? I'm supposedly I'm Ken, I'm Lisa, I'm Lori, I'm Jennifer, I'm Jessica, I'm Amber, I'm Melissa, I'm Scott, Jim, Bob, Joe. I'm none of those people. I have 1 account that I use. 1. And of course a secondary one, which I think I've tweeted once on it in the last month. So yeah, where's the evidence for that? Again, this is what Cheshire and I try to explain to people. People can throw out accusations all they want, but that's all they are. They're accusations. Where's the evidence? I guarantee it. Go to any of those accounts, pull up their IPs. They're certainly not going to be mine. Number 6, a shred of evidence that I ever have collected Social Security. She had in a tweet one time that I somehow was trying to get paid on the table to avoid Social Security. Really? Okay, where's the evidence for this? Now they'll pull up some kind of weird thing that I had in Wedge Rhetoric where I had Shannon Q come in, and Shannon Q came in hot and heavy, and I was a little under the gun because I didn't want to upset her, and she said something about Social Security, which I didn't really catch and think about it. A fun fact, I've never, ever once collected Social Security. Now, I may have gotten a little confused because I thought you had to be 62 and a half to collect Social Security. I think that's retirement, IRA. I think it's whatever retirement age. And I think it's 62 and a half and 65, you get your full benefits. But I guess you can collect Social Security benefits younger if you have some kind of medical or disability. I do not. I've had 0 medical rating, 0 disability rating, never collected any kind of Social Security for any kind of cash benefits whatsoever. So, because I have no medical disabilities, and I guess in order to collect, is it SSI? You have to have some kind of thing like loss of hearing, immobility, paralyzation, something along those lines, from what I understand. Again, I don't know. Let's see here. All right, so let me move this up here. A shred of evidence I have ever collected disability. I have 0 rating from the military. People are saying, well, Steve committed fraud, so we didn't lose the military benefits. What? No. I get full VA because I've spent 3 tours in the Gulf, in Desert Storm and Desert Shield, in 6 years total. I have 0 rating, and it's not income-based anyways. So where's this evidence that I was any kind of disability? By the way, you can contact Bullinator, and you can contact Glenn, a.k.a. Ruhif, and you can ask them. They both have seen my tax returns. And I get a medical thing from the government, 1095 form A or something like that. I get one of those. No disability. But they'll tell you, both of them tell you the same thing. I have 0 Social Security and I have 0 disability. I gave them my tax returns, fully open. Let's see here. Yes, what's that, Supermom? love chatting. By the way, you want to come in, Supermom? I'll bring her in at some point if you want. Because somebody had mentioned something about the cash. So, okay, sure. Let me talk about that. I had told Kyle, and I've said this a million times, and again, people don't seem to pay attention. I don't care how you pay me, Kyle. Pay me direct deposit to my accounts. Pay me a cashier check. Pay me cash. To me, check and cash are the exact same thing. I was in retail 20 years. Check and cash considered to be the exact same thing. And he was like, well, I'll bring in cash when I come to NunCon kind of thing. And this is what I told Shannon Q. I was like, hey, last thing I know, he's going to bring me cash. And there was just a flippant kind of thing. Didn't know if it was a cashier's check drawn on the account. Didn't care how he brought it to me. But do you think I'm that stupid to say, oh, well, I wanted him to bring me cash because I want to get paid under the table? What the hell kind of nonsense is that? I have said for months prior that I wanted a draw. A draw is something that an owner of a company takes in order to get a salary. It is taxable income. Now, why would I want $1,000 a month draw that's taxable if I was trying to hide anything? Kyle knows this. He didn't care. He had to run a narrative to cover up his fraud. So that's how that came about, right? So it's just a flippant thing that I was telling Kyle. And by the way, Red's witnessed this, that I didn't care how I got paid. But he wanted to pay me without showing me the books. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And when some people says, well, you refused payment from Kyle. Only because I had to see the books first. What is so difficult about that? I wanted to see the books first. All right, so let's see here. Where are we? So number 8, a shred of evidence that I ever told Kyle to pay me under the table. She, in fact, explicitly said Kyle was lying to her about this. And I told her all about this. And she saw that he was lying about this. And she even said, Kyle had lied to me. All right? So where's the evidence for that? I mean, you can take whatever you want out of context, but show me from Kyle's side. Where's Kyle's evidence that I ever told him to do anything fraudulent or illegal or under the table? And don't you think we would have had this conversation? Don't you think he and I would have had some kind of conversation if this was the case? So where is it? He never provided it. There is none. And she never saw it. So if Kyle never provided any, she never saw any, where the hell is all this narrative from? And by the way, would I go to court to sue him if I thought there was a shred of evidence to anything they said? Of course not. I knew there was nothing. There's nothing. Yeah, well, no, what I said was I had a secondary medical that it could affect. What I wanted to do is I wanted to check how all this would work out. That's all. That's the only thing I was concerned about, because I was getting ready for an operation, or wanted to get what's called an elective operation as something that was necessary. And it was just close to me. That's all. And I told him, I just want to check this out before I would get involved in any of this stuff. Because I didn't know. I had no idea. That's it. And so he's like, well, I'll talk to my CPA guy and we'll get it all figured out. He didn't have a CPA guy. And so I'm thinking, how is he getting this figured out? And for months we try to get out of him, who's your taxa guy? How is this being structured? And I don't mean like structured like Hovind stuff, because somebody ran with that. I mean business structured. As in, how do you do the accounting? How do you do the taxes? How do you do the accounts payable? How do you do the accounts receivable? How do you do the general ledger? How do you do the draws? These are all, I took 2 years of accounting. I understand how that works. I wasn't very good at it, but whatever. Negative Exponent says, I have to ask why you never took a draw even one single time. How could I? He said, hey, wait till August 15th, tax day, then we'll get it figured out. My tax guy has it all for you. I'm like, okay, who's your tax guy? Could never get a straight answer from him. And so I just never, that's why we had to confront him. We kept postponing it for like 2 months, right? Thank you, Rez, for popping by. I appreciate it, man. All right, so number 9, a shred of evidence that I've committed any kind of crime, participated in any criminal activity, hacking, doxing, stalking, or done anything illegal with regards to her that would require a restraining order, criminal or civil lawsuit. Now, I think she uses these terms all bizarrely. I don't think she understands any of these terms. Certainly not what a restraining order means, and certainly not there's a difference between a criminal matter and a civil matter, right? There's been no criminality at all, and civilly there has to be some kind of reasons for a lawsuit. Now, I have an attorney. My attorney hasn't heard anything from her. I've got a cease and desist, which I would be, by the way, be sent to my lawyer, not to me. Failed engineering, $2. I have dealt in claims, so I know all that. I know all that he. Oh, I have dealt in claims, so I know that all that he. Oh, that's laughter. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, I've already explained the whole medical things a million times. Again, I still have medical, so clearly there's no malfeasance. And I have medical through the VA. Now, if they want to run the narrative, that's fine. But where's the evidence for it? I mean, that's what I keep on asking. Instead of trying to twist what I say, because this is what trolls do, where's the direct evidence? Show me something from Kyle that we have planned some kind of thing. Oh, wait, there is none. And if you're going to sit there and lie, like this person here, you're just going to get deleted. I've never admitted any fraud because I've never committed any fraud. Ever, at any time. Kyle was found liable for fraud. You come into my live chat, you can provide any evidence you want, you make accusations, you're gone. Because you lie, you're gone. When have I ever once said I've done anything fraudulent or illegal? In any time I've been on YouTube. Oh, wait, never? My users know this, so if you want to come in and lie about that, you're gone. Yeah. I mean, it's just, but I want people to notice this. This is what they do. This is what trolls do. They come in, they throw out these accusations. Somebody out there will believe them. They never show any evidence. They never show any documentation. They never show any timestamps. Monty has followed me for a very long time. Nobody's ever heard me say I've committed fraud or done anything illegal. I've, from day one, said Kyle was lying. Guess what? I was lying. Shocker. Kyle didn't have a lawyer. Shocker. Kyle didn't have a CPA. Shocker. Kyle was sending videos to his lawyer. Shocker. Never happened. I mean, it boggles my mind that people are still trying to run this type of narrative and still have no evidence to show for it. Why? Because these things never happened. Simple as that. But I'm not going to let people lie. If you want to show evidence, but you're not going to come in and just throw accusations of saying things that are completely falsehood. That's not going to happen. And no, a clip is not evidence because, again, I've already explained it. That, I mean, how much more times can I explain it? I want actual evidence. I don't want misinterpretations. I don't want things taken out of context. Go ask Bullinator. Go ask Uni. I mean, go ask Reds about Uni making all this nonsense stuff. That's all fabricated bullshit. If people want to believe that, that's fine, but that's not evidence. I want actual evidence, right? Actual evidence. Oh, Kyle said he had my money. Yeah, where was the money? I'm still wondering where the money is. Kyle says there's $20,000 in debt. Kyle says the money's gone. He put in the financial record to the court $0. Well, how could he be holding money for me if there's $0? Explain this to me, somebody. If I asked him to hold money for me, which, by the way, all I ever said was don't disperse anything until we figure out what the hell's going on. Well, I want to make sure we got the taxes right. I was the one who wanted to make sure that we did it all above board, not him. I was the one, and I have all this documented. I have all the conversations. Where's the money? Where's the money that he was holding for me? He said it's not there. So I'm a little confused on this. All right, number 10, a shred of evidence that I have a troll army that I command. This is the funniest. That I ever asked a single person to harass her in any way. Where's this troll army? I mean, I'm kind of confused on this because if I had a troll army, why would they not be out in full force doing what they do, sitting in Discord like these other groups and getting all this information from me? Now, I'm going to tell you straight up, yes, I have a lot of people send me stuff. I don't even ask for it. I mean, sometimes I might say, hey, do you have more information on this, or can you send me this clip? I saw this clip. Can you download it? Can you send it to me via email? Sure. But I don't go out having people like, hey, scour the internet. Go find people, dirt on people. Go do records checks. I don't sit in Discord and do this. Oh, wait. Other people do. They do. They do. I certainly don't. I don't waste my time with that stuff. So I have this out there. The people that really want to see the truth, ask for this kind of evidence. Ask for direct evidence. Again, taking things out of context, taking quotes out of context, manipulating things for your own agenda is not evidence. That's not admissible in a court of law. Treat this like a court of law. What is the facts? I have all the evidence with Kyle. I have all the messages. I have from day one talking about 50-50. I have things that have never been shown to the public yet. I gave them to somebody to show. They didn't show them. I still have them that are pretty exculpatory, but I'm saving them in case I need them for the court case. But I will eventually show them. You got my word on this. I have a couple of things that only Bullinator has seen, and Jessire has seen, and Sweet Teen, other than and Nicholas Suter. But other than that, I don't think anybody else has seen some of the couple of things that I have that is very exculpatory. But I don't need to show those, and I'm not going to yet. But everything else is out there. Everything else is public. And so when we're talking about evidence, we're talking about things that, okay, if this was the case, what would we expect to see? Well, if Kyle committed fraud, we'd expect things like padded accounts payable, which we have. We'd expect things like missing funds, which we have. We'd expect by not paying business partners, which we have. He absconded with $60,000. Now let's wrap your head around that. Katie Joy had said, oh, well, Steve didn't want the money. She has said this numerous times. I didn't want the money? So, okay, explain this narrative to me. Either A, he's holding money for me, or B, I didn't want the money. Which is it? Is it both? I'm really confused here. Or maybe it's neither? Of course I wanted to get paid. That's the whole point we confronted him, is because I told Bullinator 2 months prior, I think there's something going on with the books here. I can't get a straight answer out of Kyle. That's the whole reason why we confronted him. Exculpatory means evidence of a defensive nature, evidence that exonerates somebody. I don't know who Marty Moose is, man. Yeah, I don't know who this person is. If it's an accidental thing, I'll fix it. Alex says, do you know Katie got rid of almost her mods today? I did not know that, but I heard something along the lines of a mod putting out her Discord link. And I watched that, and she's kind of lost her mind on it. Okay, look, I'm not savvy on Discord. I'm really not a big Discord fan. I don't sit in Discord and collect data on people like other content creators do. What I do is I go in there and I talk to certain people, like one of the the best religious discussions and the atheist experience Discord. But from my knowledge and understanding, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, if you give out a link to somebody, it expires within 24 hours, but also you can go and you can renew the link. You can change the link to something else that deactivates the other link. And also you can assign roles. So people, when they first get to the Discord, can't see any chat. They can't participate until you actually assign them roles. Is that not how it works? But again, like I said, I am not the go-to guy for Discord. Like straight up, not the... Look, if you want to know about Discord, go to Bullinator. He's a fantastic admin. But even I know, though, that a Discord link, unless you set it to never expire, will expire in 24 hours. So what's the big deal? Why did she delete her entire Discord? I don't get this. I don't know. But I didn't know she got rid of some of her mods. Empty Bottle says, I am a troll, but not you're a troll. I do my own thing. I'm a troll. Look, there are some innocuous trolls that come around like Mr. Brass like that. I don't care. But I certainly don't order anybody. And even ex-mods, Super Mommy 76, I've never asked her to do anything, and she's not a fan of KJ. Some of her mods started asking questions first. We all aren't as dumb. Well, but Super Mommy, here's what you got to remember. Again, a lot of people don't care. All they want to do is be entertained. They don't care about the verticality of information. They don't care if anything's factual. It is reality TV to them. They want the drama. That's it. They like to harm people. There are content creators that I have no contact with because they seem to get off trying to harm people. That's not my shtick. Not into that. I will defend myself, and I'll put something up like this because I think it's pertinent. I think it's relevant. Excuse me, I think it's relevant. But other than that, I'm not going around trying to harm anybody. But I will defend myself when I'm falsely accused of fraud and falsely accused of sexual harassment when clearly there's been zero evidence to support any of it. So that's my 10 things that I'm asking for a shred of evidence for. And again, I don't want to hear anything that I've said taken out of context. I want to see the actual documented evidence of this stuff. I want to see any evidence I've done any of these things. And if you're one of those people that says, I've ever asked you to do anything illegal, harass anybody, commanded you to do anything, come to me. Go to Cheshire. Cheshire, I'll give you my full permission right now on your channel to interview anybody you want that says they have evidence of this. There you go. And she would too. She'll try anything to find dirt on me. I know her. I'm totally cool with that. My only thing is I get obviously a rebuttal, but I dare anybody to. I dare you. And again, I'm not asking them to try to show some clips from a hangout that was taken out of context. I want to see actual evidence. Katie Joy attacks the Duggars too. Religious types will attack her more than any other group. I don't know who the Duggars are really. I mean, I know of them. I got some people that know them or something like that, but I'm not going to dive into that. It's just I would be so lost. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Simone says, so I wasn't hateful till I went through the Katie Joy Paulson stuff. It's not okay. She comes at her kids, family, social media. Oh, I know she does. She has tried to get my channel shut down multiple times. She tried to mass flag my channel. She tried to get Sherelle's channel flagged. Sherelle's on YouTube, on the phone with YouTube for 3 hours. 3 hours she was on the phone with YouTube after what Katie tried to do to her channel. Katie Joy tried to, the video that I did for the cease and desist, which by the way is not Katie's to demand whether I show it or not. It's not her property. She doesn't have to give me permission to show anything. Once you email that to Sherelle, it's hers. She can do whatever the hell she wants with it. She gave it to me to show. And so I had YouTube contact me saying there's a privacy concern. And I explained it. There's no privacy concern. That was 3-4 days ago. Nothing's happened. She will legit go after your channels. She will legit go after your family members. She will go after your friends. She's gone after Sherelle's friends. She's gone after my friends. So let me make it very clear to you. If you get involved with Katie, you're taking your own chances. This is do is trying to inform people what you're taking your chances. That's it. And again, she has lost a whole bunch of mods that started asking questions. And the ones that stuck around, they don't care. I mean, obviously, I don't even know who half of them are. I know the name Jessie Bear. I don't know who she is. I don't care. And I know she has some pitbulls and attack bulls that do her dirty work. But other than that, I don't know these mods. I've never reached out to them. But I have had the mods reach out to me. Matter of fact, Supermani76 reached out to me after she realized what was going on. By the way, I'm wearing my contacts and I'm having a hard time seeing. So if I'm squinting, it's because of that. I'm not looking directly at you through the camera. The show 19 and Counting, the really religious family Jim Bob is the father. Yeah, I mean, I know it had to do with 19 and Counting or 18 and Counting or something like that. I know of that, but I really that's a minimalistic thing that I understand about that channel. I don't watch any of that stuff. Simone says, I hear Sherelle might back down. I thought Sherelle could take her. 50-50. And like I said, the reason being is I get why Sherelle's afraid. It's not that she's afraid that she's going to do anything to Sherelle. Sherelle's afraid that she's going to do something to people that Sherelle knows. And that's how they come at you. Because Katie Joy can come after me all she wants. I'm not afraid of her. People know this. But they go after my friends. They go after people that I care about. That's how they get you. And so you could be the strongest person in the world. You can be like, hey, you know what? I'll take on anybody. But once you realize that they're going after people you care about, that changes things a little bit. Right? So, you know, it's a shame that, we have to do this on this channel. I want to go back to science and philosophy. I've even said that quite a few times before, right? I don't want to have to deal with this nonsense. But unfortunately, I'm somehow the vanguard for this. And I don't know why. I wasn't trying to be, and I didn't be thrust in the limelight to be so. But now that a lot of people are coming to me with their stories, we have different things in the works to make things happen. And not going to go into the details. Matter of fact, I love Cheshire a lot, but even she doesn't know some of these details. I haven't told anybody. The reason being is not because I don't trust them. I trust Cheshire with all my heart. But I have to do this on my own. And I have to do this with other people that I have strict confidentiality with. But the information is going to get out one way or another. The trolls are, it's so funny. It's like Katie Joy had an interview with, was it Laughing in Disbelief or something like that? Nobody went over there to harass her. Nobody bothered her. Nobody cares. I mean, yet I go on stream and I have her sycophants come over and make 75,000 million accounts, fake accounts. Right? Now, somebody will say, well, Steve, you have stock accounts on YouTube. They all have my name in it, except for like 2. Right? And even people know who they are. Right? When it's Kane in it. But it's just like, I don't have these massive super accounts to go mess with people. And like I said, they all have my name in it for a reason. Because there was like, why are you scared of Steve McRae? And that's more for the flat earther stuff. Gunna says, it's your moral obligation to come forward. It's called efficacy. I get that. And I do believe there's a moral consideration. But I also have to have consideration for the people I care about. One of the reasons I stepped away was, one, I had been dealt a mental blow because of certain things. But two, I saw how it was affecting other people and people that I care about. And so they didn't want me to continue, and I chose not to. But now we have to at least step up a little bit, because if not, people are going to run narrative, people are going to run script, and people are going to run these BS things. And you're right, most people are not going to believe it. I get it, right? I mean, they don't have this big group that believe their nonsense. But it's enough to people that these people that they're collecting, these sycophants that they're collecting, they're the ones that are going after people, right? That's what's the danger, that they're collecting people that are just as psychotic as they are, that are willing to harm people, that are willing to go after families, that are willing to go after kids. That's the reason why I think that I have, as you put it, a moral obligation to do it, to stand up against them. Yeah, and I don't even bother with Uni. I don't address anything that he does. I don't watch anything he does. People send me some clips. I don't care. He's trivial. Let him do his thing. He can have 5,000 million people watching. I don't care. Nothing that I do revolves around him, ever. I will never watch his videos. I don't care. I watched like 10 minutes of one a couple weeks ago, and I felt so guilty about it. I even told Cheshire, I'm like, Cheshire, I don't watch these people, but I did watch 10 minutes, and it was just nonsense, and so I don't even bother. But yeah, he's nobody to me. Absolutely irrelevant. All he is Katie's a DAC dog. That's all he gets paid to do. He gets paid to fabricate stuff, make up crap, and go after channels. That's all he does. The difference is I have all this stuff documented. Cheshire knows I've all this documented. Anybody who's ever asked me to see the documentation, I'll show it to him. There's quite a bit, but I've also compiled it in a way that I can get out in more of a large platform. But that's not ready for release yet. Let's see here. But yeah, I don't ever talk about him because he's irrelevant. That's what he wants. What he does is he tries to get channels to get mad at him, so he wages war. That's what he even told me. He said, hey, Steve, I make a video about you. You make a video about me. I'll call you out. You call me out. He told me this. He literally said when I first met him, that's what he does. That's what he wanted me to do. Why do you think I don't ever respond to him? I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. I don't care. I'm not here to drum up stuff for views. I'm not here to drum up stuff for drama. I want to go back to my other shit. If these people went away forever in perpetuity, I'd be happy as hell because they're leaving my friends alone. Yeah, he creates conflicts. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I don't give him attention. I'm never going to make a video with his name in the title or his name in the description. He can talk about me for the rest of his life. That's his life. Go ahead. If you want to be obsessed by me and stalk me, knock yourself out. It makes no difference to me. My life continues. In fact, I would like that. His viewers and Katie Joy's viewers are more than welcome to come watch. In fact, I've opened up the group so Katie Joy's followers can come in without a freaking clue group and see what goes on, because it's not a troll group. It's just the antithesis of that. And matter of fact, some have actually said, "Man, I was wrong on this." Well, no kidding. Debate me, bro. Yeah, no, I'm not doing any more debates for quite some time. That's nothing to do with that. It's just that they're unproductive. If I have any discussions, I'm going to have on my channel where I can actually be more engaging. I can actually, because like James, it's entertaining, but James doesn't like to actually moderate that much, right? He doesn't involve himself in the discussion. I want to do discussions with people. Like, I'm going to have Snake on tomorrow. We're going to do a part 3. Yes, sorry, Chesh. We're going to do a part 3, but it's going to be a lot more engaging because, one, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and two, I want to be able to actually explain to him and other people, right? So I think I can only do that if he comes on this channel, not if I'm on Modern Day Debate. And by the way, yes, Modern Day Debate did ask me if I wanted to debate T-Jump with Godless Girl on my side. I thought about it. I chose not to. No disrespect to James, because I think James is an amazing guy, but I'm just not going to bother with that. I don't think I want to debate T-Jump. If I ever get a chance to live, like if T-Jump comes to California again and I go out there live, yeah, probably. But I see no point to do it as some kind of exhibition thing on the channel, because all it is 100,000 people that leave negative comments that don't address the actual debate. Like my debate with Snake, nobody really addressed that I said anything wrong. It was all Steve's the mean poopy head. A bunch of atheists are pissed off that I contradict their narratives. Okay, well, that's fine, but that has nothing to do with the debate. I want to have, on this channel, actual discussion. If you think I'm wrong, have at it. My Gumballs and God blog, you think it's wrong? Have at it. You think that my laws of logic are wrong? Have at it. But you don't get that on the other channel. Danger Man says you probably could put a restraining order on Uni 100 videos this year. I don't care. Yeah, why would I bother? I don't care enough. I really don't. It's like I said, if a person wants to spend their entire lives making 1 billion videos about me, okay, I don't care. I don't even do that many about Katie Joy because, there was no reason to. She does her own thing, and I put everything out there already, and I explained to people, and they didn't believe me. Great. If they did, that's fine too. But now a lot of people have come to me and said, hey, can I get some information on this? Yes. Or I've seen her do this. Yes. So I think it's a little bit more appropriate now than it was maybe 2 months ago. Let's see here. Engineering. I'm trying to catch up on my thing. Yeah, I kind of forgot to put her in the title. I know. I'm sorry. You know what? I can fix that. Though. I put her in there. I put it in the. Does this make you happy here? But anyways, I'm up for questions. I'm always up for Q&A. Like I said, I have never had anything to hide, and I've been consistent. Matter of fact, somebody even told me the other day on Twitter, they're like, Steve, your stories are the only ones that are consistent. All these other people, their stories changed 1 million times. I mean, look at my times Katie Joy's stories changed about the whole sexual harassment thing. First, it was a tweet about Mercedes Carrera. Then it was a pre-show. Then it was a private conversation with one of the persons on a phone call. Then it was a private phone call. None of which had happened. Yeah, look at all these troll accounts. Yeah, shocker, right? And again, I have a troll army supposedly that goes over and trolls these other groups. Really? Again, 128 people. Have I ever asked any of you to do so? If you show me where I've said that, please. I'm really kind of curious. But Todd, you're right. It's all projection. The reason why, and again, I got to tell you, this is something that I had to learn the hard way. I really couldn't wrap my head around how these people did what they did, right? I mean, how could they think the way they did? It was really difficult for me to do so. But then it kind of light bulb moment. And that light bulb moment was the reason why they do all these things and the reason why they claim other people do them is because they do them, right? They're projecting their own actions onto other people. They claim other people are doxing. They claim other people are hacking. They claim other people are harassing. They claim other people are trolling. That's because they do all this stuff. Now, I don't know about the hacking part, but it wouldn't surprise me. So that one is questionable. But the rest of it, they all do. But yeah, like when people say like I'm hacking, Chester and Balloon could tell you right now, I'm not computer illiterate by any stretch of imagination. But I wouldn't begin to tell you how to hack. I wouldn't. How the hell I would use a brute force program or something like that. I've never done it, never cared to, never will. It's irrelevant to me. Let's see here. All right. So if you got questions directed to me, I will be on for another, what do we got here? I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. Light bulb moment. That's what you told me months ago. Yeah, well, that's what it was. It was a light bulb moment months ago that I was like, oh my God, they do this. This is exactly what they do. This is why they say, hey, look at all these people that are doxing. Look at all these people that are harassing. Look at all these people that are trolling. Because they've got 1 million freaking troll accounts. They come into my live chat all the time. Like and they'll just make a new one. All right, it reminds me of the Roger Ailes and Rupert Murdoch of the Fox News formula. Thoughts by Jay Brown. Would you please explain They Might Be Giants? Are you an underrated band by mainstream media? Constantinople, Istanbul used to be in Constantinople. Thoughts by Jay Brown. You can interpret that as you want, right? Istanbul, Constantinople. Istanbul, Constantinople. I get demonetized now, huh? That was the only song I remember by They Might Be Giants. Goodness says, you are empowered me to go watch these people and mailing my own decisions about Steve McRae, and guess what, you were right at what you told me about those. Yeah, thank you. Shocking. Look, I don't care if people say that I'm right, as long as they don't say I'm wrong. But what I want to hear is that they actually did their due diligence and they actually went to go investigate this stuff. That's what I'm curious, because I can tell you right now, a lot of people got blocked when they asked for evidence. And I'm not talking, again, of things taken out of context. I'm talking about actual evidence of a hardcore nature, like a hard factual things. Because I can tell you right now, out of all these 10, there's nothing. There's nothing of evidence. And if you don't believe me, have her take me to court. Have her contact law enforcement. Have her do anything to check IP records. Fine. Absolutely fine with it. I guarantee if she goes to court, absolutely nothing. Mellowbird says it took 24 hours to get destroyed, the whole group permanently. Which group, Mellowbird? And by the way, Mellowbird, when are we going to do our ghost thing? I thought we were supposed to do that one time. Are you still into ghost hunting and paranormal stuff? Super Mommy says, Steve, does she really think she can get an attorney when she is making false allegations against you? Well, here's the thing. Look, you can hire an attorney for anybody or anything, right? I mean, there's always going to be scrupulous attorneys. But what's going to happen is you would have them do your cease and desist, right? They'll write a cease and desist letter for anything. But once my lawyer gets that and my lawyer says, screw off, let's go to court, then they have to file an actual complaint. That complaint, we'll just get a summary judgment for or against, because I guarantee you this is no evidence for. It's just nonsense. And so if she wants to spend $15,000 on a case she can't win, knock yourself out. I'm okay with that. I'm very confident that I get financial support to fight that. And by the way, it costs far more for the plaintiff than it does the defendant. I'm finding it out firsthand, right? How much money has Kyle spent on defending himself? Maybe $15 in postage. I mean, whatever to get something filed with the clerk. That's it, right? It's cost us $10,000 to $15,000 so far. So yeah. And by the way, Q, you're gone. You're not welcome here. By the way, there are anybody from other channels are more than welcome here. Trolls are not, and dishonest people are not. So. I will block, yes, I will absolutely block dishonest people and block the lies, and I'll remove comments that are wrong, erroneous, and outright lies. If you want to make accusations and you provide evidence, hey, I'll respond to you. But if you just make an assertion that has no evidence whatsoever, you're going to get removed. I can tell you right now, I don't have time for it. I'm not going to waste my time being sea-lined, and I'm just not going to bother with those kind of people, because that's all they do. They want to waste your time. So AT2 Productions says... You'll laugh at this one. What am I laughing at? Negative Exponents. I would love for a creator to do a live stream of paranormal analysis. That's a good idea. Yeah, well, I thought it was actually Mellowbird that did those things, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Let's see here. You should go to on AT2. Yeah, AT2 can come in. Yeah. Mellowbird says, after 10 years, you lose interest in talking about the same subject, but I'm happy to talk about experience with a similar troll group. Yeah. How about this? Why don't you contact Chesh via Twitter or something, if she'll do this for me, and we'll arrange something. If you want to talk about your experiences. I mean, I still like to talk about your paranormal stuff. I really would. I don't know whether you believe it or not. I watched your stuff years ago, so... I don't know where you stand on any of that stuff, but if you want to talk about with a similar troll group that you've experienced with, like we're experiencing now, I'm okay with that too, and we'll do the paranormal another time. But Chess, can you reach out to him or vice versa, or give him my email address and you can message me, Mellowbird? I don't know. Yeah, it's pronounced Mellowbird, I think, right? So let's see here. Well, I'm so glad you watched my stuff, Mello. Like I said, my stuff has really nothing to do with yours before. Like I said, unless you change your content. But no offense, I haven't watched it in years. Who's contacting me? Mello, the one with the check mark. He used to have a really big channel. I mean, I don't know how many subs he has now. It was like 150,000 or whatever. But I just want to hear his troll experiences. So, hey, Jared, you want to come in? I will make, you know what? I really like the fact, and I told you guys this was happening. I told you guys that Google Meets was going to be free, right? And now it is, and it's integrated with the email, Gmail. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, you just click on it and boom, it opens up. So I'm going to give the link to join to you, Jared, in 1 second here via Twitter. Oh, I never got my tweet out of this. Interesting. It's just been sitting there. So AT2, where are you? There you are. So that's the link to come in. Jared, I will give it to a couple other people. They want to come in here in the group there. And I think that's about it. All right, let me go back here. I'm having to squint to see. I mean, all right, so let me check here. Yeah, I think Cheshire is having a stroke. Melbourne says, if I talked about that stuff for free, nobody would pay me to do it anymore. I got a business email Addy on my channel page. Okay, well, I'll find you. I'll email you. I ain't paying you for a damn thing, though. Yeah, that sounds about right. You have about 130, but you haven't been active in a very long time, so probably you get like 2 views if you do a video nowadays. All right, so look who's popping in here. Hi. Hello.
Good evening.
Oh, let me turn you up here. Okay. How are you, man?
Insomnia can be a bitch.
Yeah. Some nights I sleep really well, and other nights I just cannot at all. I just sleep during the daytime because I just have this weird circadian rhythm. By the way, we don't need to show you because you're not on camera anyways, right? Or,
nah, it's just my icon. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what do you got to add here, man?
Oh, I've only caught the last few minutes, and the way I was even made aware that this was a thing is people complaining about a particular, well, not so much complaining, just letting me know a particular voice was railing yet again. And so I did take a peek, saw an interesting comment from our favorite person who is never right, saying that they're thinking of having a 14,000 sub celebration for you, kind of hinting that your number is going to drop.
Yeah, well, I got it. That might actually happen. I've asked YouTube to do a purge of any fake accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
which they're supposed to be doing anyways. It's something that they've said they've implemented for a few years now.
Yeah.
So
I contacted them directly. There's a couple different ways you can do it when you have a certain amount. And I say, look, I've had some weird comments on my pages. I'm having an increase now, but I know I'm getting some from Sherelle. I looked on the analytics, and Sherelle's video, the one that we did, the trailer, that has over 5,000 views. So and the next one under that is also Sherelle. So those are some influx. Now some of the other stuff I don't know, and so I've asked YouTube to do a forensic analysis and purge any of these bots or any of these fake accounts, and we'll see what happens. So I've opened up a ticket. Yeah. I opened up a report to them. They'll open up a ticket, and then we'll go from there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. There are sometimes some things YouTube actually gets right in that case. Not often, but sometimes. But
well, how does that work though? Okay, look, there's dishonest people out there that will do shady stuff, and if they are doing shady stuff to my channel, like sending bots over to comment, because there have been some really weird comments, and I've removed a lot of them, but it's hard to tell, especially when some of them have like 1,000, 2,000 subs. I don't want to remove comments that are actually legit, but what it seems like some of them are doing is like they'll take bits and pieces from the video, like a name or something like that, and then incorporate it into their comment, like through an API or something. I don't know how that's done. But is that how a bot would work?
It depends on how it's set up. I don't know the particulars of it because different bots can be set up different ways. The easiest way is an API because they could pull a transcript of a published video and then actually look for common identifiers, common names, and then formulate a generic response with that in there so it appears to be relevant to the video.
That seems a lot of work.
It is. Programming shit like that is a pain in the dick unless you enjoy that thing.
I'm sure he could figure it out. I'll have to ask him. But So if comments are like that, how does YouTube check for that? I mean, when I asked them to do a forensic analysis,
Account history.
Just account history, okay? Because
Yeah,
it's only been the last couple days,
Well-
and I have a feeling that there might be some unscrupulous content creators that are maliciously doing this to my channel. That's why I asked them.
Yeah, but with the way they'll do it on those comments that you have flagged as suspect, they'll look into a history of that account and what their comment history is, what their overall activity history is, and also the age of that account as well.
Yeah,
And that's what they go into to determine, is this potentially a flawed account that's set up for these things, or is it potentially a legitimate one?
I didn't.
That's how they'll go into it and look.
I didn't think too much of it because I noticed there is a trend. On every video that I watch, there's a couple of these like, "Will you be my friend?" That kind of stuff. That's not just on my videos. I saw that on tons of videos. Like every video I watch, there's like those kind of counts. I remove all those.
Yeah.
But I just figured there's something like those lines, because those bots have been around for a very long time, and they're just, "Will you be my friend?" That kind of stuff. Or great video. Failed Engineering says,
Yeah.
"You apparently promised me YouTube fame and glory for my blind support of you." And Helios for $5 says, "Hey, McCrazies and Unitrolls, you see what Steve is doing in regards to thinking he might have bots? That's called integrity, and you should get some." Yeah, and by the way, just to verify, I actually recorded my conversation with YouTube and my report, so I have all that documented.
Got it.
And
sometimes things like that, you need to make a record. That way, if it comes back just from the YouTube end, if they try to say, oh, it wasn't reported, it's like, hang on, here's where I reported it. See
I
that
document
timestamp?
everything for that. Yes, I document everything. And by the way, I've opened up various tickets with YouTube before. They've usually get it back to me. Now, I gotta tell you, have they been? Well, gosh, just say they've been less than helpful, but I do have a big enough channel where I can actually open up a ticket and they'll look into things. So I have opened up through feedback, report, and I actually contacted a chat representative, and I got a hold of somebody, which is odd because I'm sure they're not in the States. There had to be, because this was only a couple hours ago, earlier today. So they probably in some other place. But yeah, they at least have some kind of contact. But will they help me? We'll see. So I'll keep you posted on that. But I did, like I said, I did record it. So if anybody says, "Well, Steve's not serious," oh yes, I am. Way earlier today, I had noticed some weird stuff, and I had contacted YouTube directly and said, "Hey, you know what? Why am I getting all these bots and much higher sub count than usual?" And again, could be from Sherelle. I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing, is deciphering through if there were bots involved. I will say this, it is rather intriguing just how intricate a particular's voice knowledge was of how those bots are set up and how you actually tell it the comment to post and everything. Seems like that person just might have some experience doing it themselves.
Possibly. I wouldn't even know where to begin. I will tell you this. I will go absolutely on record. I'll stake my channel on it and all my channels on it. I have never bought a sub in my life. I wouldn't even know how to begin to buy a sub. I will put my channel on the line. And by the way, I'll put my channel on the line for any of these things. None of this stuff's true. None of the stuff that they've accused me of. Never sexually harassed her. Never committed any fraud. Nothing. I've never collected Social Security. I've never collected disability. I'll put all my channels up for that. Will they put their channels up that they haven't lied? I get that, but they have. No way they won't. I mean, no way they will. You know they won't, right? Because they lie frequently. But I can tell you right now, no, of course I never. Why would I buy subs? I've had my channel 7 years. You think I give a crap about sub count? Why would it just be now? I mean, for God's sake, that's just stupid. I love my cup. This is my invisible cup. Yes.
Well, it's like the fallout from Dumb Fuck of the Year, the whole thing about them getting their knickers in a twist because of the script that I had that worked in the prior year to increase the number of votes on a couple of videos. But notice how none of those numbers affect any of my friends' channels, any of my videos, anywhere on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like I was upfront and clear that, hey, this is my plan for Dumb Fuck of the Year, because it's a raging dumpster fire to end the year with some laughter and enjoyment after all the stupidity that we subjected ourselves to. It's almost like if you pay attention, all these questions are answered immediately.
Bill,
But see, that's
yeah.
the thing. But that's the thing. You gotta pay attention.
Well, and you got to care. A lot of people don't care. Bill says Steve can barely run OBS. No way he's got bots running as a command. Hey, I'm not that bad at OBS. Come on. Wow.
He does kind of have a point, though.
I'll tell you what I'm inept at. I'll tell you what I'm barely competent in. I'll tell you what I'm decent at. I'm at least decent at OPS. I mean, I'm not like an expert at it, but give me a little credit. Damn, guys. But yeah, I have no idea how to program bots. I know what an API call is because I used to do programming in Visual Basic, but I don't think it's the same thing. What's his name? Streamer Live. He programs in, I think, Python or something. Never programmed Python in my life.
Yeah, I deal with PLC programming enough, and that is mind-numbing. I have to be really motivated to want to do any sort of programming otherwise. And yeah, the laughter of watching Reds' reaction as one of the people he doesn't want to win, just getting higher and higher numbers. Yeah, that was a reason to do it, because I found immense pleasure in him panicking at one point.
I know the story on the whole bots thing, and I know why you did that, and I get it. I totally understand, right? But see, well, they took that and they manipulated that story, did they not? Like to no end.
Oh, it's almost like they have I would say, questionable mental need to find someone to put their hate towards, because it makes, this is my summation of it, that them having a target to hate allows them to ignore what they don't like about their own lives, and by fiat feel better, because it's all self-perpetuating.
I think it's a little more simplistic than that. I think it's basically they will latch on to anything that they think gives them views, and they'll run any narrative that they think will give them views. I know for a fact that this is what certain people, this is their modus operandi. This is how they go about functioning. They told me these things. They told Manya the same thing, right? This is one of the reasons Manya and I have said, hey, look, we're not telling you more information, dude, because you willfully are lying to your people, and you don't care. You didn't care. We got to get.
I was talking about the group as a whole.
Yeah, well,
because that is pervasive throughout all of them, content and not content creators.
Let me read the super chat real quick. Manya, $10 New Zealand. Manya says, by the way, you want to come in, Manya? Steve, you apparently promised me YouTube fame and glory for my blind support for you. Haha. Do these nutters know how I work 2 jobs and don't have time for YouTube? Am I just here to support you, my boy in Cheshire? I appreciate all your support. I know you work really hard for what you get. And every time you do spend it on me, I kind of feel bad. But I definitely appreciate your support. But, I will love you either way, Manya. You've been one of my dear friends. And, people know that I've stuck by people I care about, and she stuck by me. But I never promised her any fame or glory, that's for sure. A lot of people have said that, like, well, you've made promises about Non Sequitur Show. Really? The only person I promised anything was Cheshire. Other people I've talked about trying to arrange things, but she's the only one I kind of had a verbal promise to. That's about it.
I will agree with
that's your wife, right? You're married to Cheshire?
Yeah. oh, yeah. The whole crown thing kind of gives it away.
King and queen.
Yeah. But Bill McIntyre in the chat said, it's just interactive reality TV, guys. It's no deeper than that. I will agree with that. However, it's that interactivity part. The people who are acting this way are the same types who watch reality TV because, haha, look at that shit show. My life's better than that.
Yeah, I mean, that might be true. I mean, I think people watch for different reasons, but I differentiate between certain people. And there's one group of people that actually, like I said, care about the facts. This channel is about that. I try not to put out anything that I cannot validate or verify or I don't think is true. Clearly, I'm not going to put out false information. I'd be excoriated by people that follow me if I did that. But there's other people that will put out grossly incorrect information only because people that watch them don't care. They just simply don't care. Helios, $5. I vote AT2 for DF of the year.
for not capitalizing on DF of the Year by selling his bots and breaking the bank by doing it publicly so that everyone had to buy his bots. There you go. See, you are nominated for DF of the Year.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm not on here for monetary gain. Funny that.
Yeah, Manya, I did promise Manya she could brush my hair. That's true.
Now the question is, now the question is, as Manya is brushing your hair, is she required to call you a good pony, or is there something else tied to it?
I prefer who's a good boy.
Oh, okay.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Yeah, you know what's so funny that somebody the other day was getting offended on behalf of somebody else, like getting offended on behalf of Monty or something like that, and I kind of laid into them. So did Cheshire. It's like, stop infantizing these people. I mean, Monty's a big girl. She's an adult. Don't speak on behalf of other people. It's rude. It's inconsiderate, and it goes against everything that feminists have worked hard to have their own independence and their own voice. I think it's very vile when people are morally outraged on behalf of somebody else when there's no reason to be.
Well, yeah, that's the biggest thing is the determination on whether or not it is something that is actually warranting the outrage or not.
Right.
It is interesting because over the last few days, there's been a person in comment sections and even in Discord servers that are not directly associated with you bringing up their objections to what they perceive as your behavior and everything, and at a number of times asking if that third party would apologize for the behavior. Now, I'm going to say this very clearly because I know this person is watching this over on the other channel right now. If you have a problem with Steve, form a rational, cogent, complete thought and bring it to Steve directly.
What a concept. Wow. Ooh. Wow, that's actually a good idea. Why didn't we think of that before, Jared?
It's almost like if you have a problem with a person that has open avenues to have communication at, come right, bring the information, bring your objections in a cogent manner, and you might actually get a response.
Well,
but if you,
that's why I said talk to Chesh. Look, I mean, the only reason I'm using Chesh as a gatekeeper because she knows some of the people I will never, ever, 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 ever be in the same room with or talk to ever again. But if there's somebody out there that I think they have a good argument, that they have evidence, contact Cheshire. I will tell you right now, she will allow you on her channel. I'm not going to speak for her. I'll ask her to allow her on your channel, and by the way, present it, and then you can confront me directly. If it's anything viable, and I think it's something that needs to be explained, I'll be happy to do so. Now, I guarantee there is no evidence. I'm not even concerned about anybody presenting any actual evidence. There is none. But there might be things that need to be actual, like explanatory things. I don't think so. I think I've already explained everything. But if anything ever comes up, sure, I don't mind. I'll explain what needs to be explained and always tell the truth. But so far, nobody's presented any of that yet. So if you got something, there she is. Cheshire will be happy to have you as a guest. By the way, I guarantee it. Well, I'm not going to guarantee it, but I seriously doubt anybody's going to take her up on this. Seriously doubt.
Yeah.
But let me read the rest of it, and then we can kind of finish it up. I said, I've challenged her followers and mods to ask her for evidence of these things Katie calls harassment, quote unquote harassment. That isn't harassment. That is me merely highly suggesting people who want facts ask for them. If they don't, that is fine too. But in fact, hundreds if not thousands have now seen the truth, which was not from her, but from groups like this, which was the group that on Facebook, and other accounts that keep accounts of her lies, mistruths, false statements, and contradictions. She's one of the very few people I know that can actually have a contradiction in the same video. Multiple. Now, somebody in the live chat earlier said the only person that has been consistent on this all this time is me. I don't know if they're on a real account or not, but I got to tell you, I think I'm the only person that has had the same consistent story from day one. I haven't revised my story. I haven't changed my story. I haven't appended my story. I haven't prepended my story. I haven't done anything to change the facts that have been out there since day one. I challenge anyone who has asked Katie. I've challenge anyone who asks Katie Joy Paulson for evidence for any of these top 10 things. I spelled that wrong, but I fixed it in the actual post. Well, what I do is I type fast and I transpose letters. I'm not dyslexic. I just, for some reason, when I type, a lot of times you'll see like ing. I
fat
type
finger it.
Yeah, I do it a lot. To come here and show us the evidence in that thread. Let's say how many people do. I'm going to bet 0 do. Any takers? So far, there's been 0. And I'll let me know if there's any. I hope that they do. I would love to. But I know that they're full of crap. I know that there's no evidence of any of this. And I know, and by the way, I'll throw out another little thing. If you, this is completely up to Chesh, if you are a person that did ask for evidence and never got any, and you want to tell your story, also contact Chesh. And go on that time of the month or half time of the month or spotting. All great shows, right? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to speak for Chesh because she doesn't tell me how to run my channel. She tries to, but she doesn't. She can't. But I'm certainly not going to tell her how to run her channel either. So,
You can make a suggestion, and again, it's that same thing. If there are actual legitimate concerns from people who are going to be an honest part of a conversation, bring it.
Super Mommy says, that's true. Steve, you haven't changed your story. Funny thing about the truth. Chester says, should I just call in bull and do a call-in bitch about Steve's show? Your channel.
That could be interesting.
Knock yourself out. I really couldn't care. I'd be like, okay with it. That'd be fun, actually, maybe. I mean, I'd love to see the people try to call in but basically expose themselves, because the first question you ask them is, okay, what's your evidence? And I guarantee it'll be some song and dance, because this is what happens on Twitter. Every time people on the Twitter had to ask for evidence of these troll people, do you know what happened, Jared? You've watched this happen. What happens when you ask for these trolls on Twitter, okay, well, you made this accusation. What is it based upon?
They skirt, they dance, they come up with anything other than actually showing something to support the claim that they're making.
Shocker, right?
Yeah. And
they had to blocking people. Real quick, let me get the super chats. Ken Hoven Cellmate, $5. If you had tried to sick us on anyone, including KJ, I'm reasonably certain that the response would have been from the collective, or it would have been a collective, no, are you drunk? Yeah, no, look, I get that, right? I mean, I have an audience of people that want to learn stuff for the most part. I mean, I have an audience that likes logic and critical thinking, science and philosophy. And I mean, we didn't have much people watching the Vulcanology show last night with Landon, which was a shame. But it was I think very informative and fun. I was a little tired, but I love that subject, and I adore Landon. But I would expect my type of audience to go, "What the hell are you talking about, Steve? I'm not going to do that for you." But you know what? The other content creators, when they ask their audience to, or they have people in Discord that they have in these little groups, they'll go do this stuff. Oh, you want us to go troll this people over there? Sure. You want me to make 50,000 fake accounts and troll people? Sure. Nobody I know would do that. Nobody. That's not the kind of people that I cultivate. That's not the kind of friendship that I have. Jared could tell you. Jared, have you and I ever really talk privately about anything for the most part? I mean, so pretty superficial. What you do with Sean and Reds, that's all your stick, man. I don't. Yeah. Did I ever talk to you about any kind of GoFundMe or any of that shit? Did I have anything to do with anything? No. Nothing. There's nothing.
And it's funny how on certain bits of it, you would support and share to get visibility on certain ones, but funny how you were never actually a beneficiary of any of them.
Yeah, how much have I made off GoFundMe's and what's the other one's called? GoFundMe, and there's that what is
GoFundMe,
it?
Kickstarter,
whatever.
And,
whatever. How much money have I made off those, Jared?
To my knowledge, none. Again, because I have not seen you be the beneficiary of any of them.
No, none. I've donated to them, and I've mentioned them on my channel, and I've tweeted them out. Like I said, somebody, I think it was an ex-cult baby, did one for Rachel Oates that I tweeted out. I think I gave her $20 or something. I know Reds has done a few that I've helped him with. Who else was there? There was somebody named way back when. What was her name? Her name was Allie, but I'm not doxing her. But Allison, what was her name? Allison's name.
That was
Oh
Off
my
the
god,
hook.
off the hook. Yeah, thank you. I helped her out because I mean she was in a very abusive relationship, right? And people knew this. I like to help people when I can. So I've given away, in 2018, I literally gave away 10% of my income. That's a fact. Now, have I done that every year? No. But in 2018, I did. If you don't believe me, go ask Bullinator and Glenn. They have my financial records from those days. 10% of my income I went to help other people. And so, yeah, I've never gotten a dime from any kind of beneficiary thing. Now, I did have some purchase for me, my microphone, my computer. They were by people that helped. The headphones. My mouse pad, a book, which was by Susskind. What was it called? The Cosmic Landscape. Chair.
I need to read that one.
Yeah, I got about halfway through it, and I need to finish it. I still feel bad that I haven't finished that book, but I got about halfway through it. But I've never done any kind of drive for me. I've always done it for other people, and that's just to help them out. I mean, somebody else has started it. I've never started a GoFundMe for anybody. So if anybody has any evidence, I forgot to clue that in here. I should have put that as number 11, right? Where's the evidence I've ever had any beneficiary from any kind of fundraising?
Well, to be fair, that criticism wasn't directly from
You're right.
Katie.
Good point. Yeah, you're right. She even hasn't even accused me of that. Yeah. But yeah, that's a fun fact. And so all these people that are spinning narrative, the people watching that stuff, they watch it because they like the lies. They like the entertainment. They like being manipulated. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. I don't care, to be honest with you. They can make a fortune off of it. It doesn't affect my life in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, well, the viewers, there are three groups of the actual viewers. You have your people who have that desire and need to watch a shit show for self-gratification, your predominant reality TV viewers. Then you have another group that is passing through it for some reason it came up as, okay, interesting, wonder what this is about. And so you have those bystanders. And then the other group is you have people keeping an eye out because they care about the other side. And it's like, wait a minute, this person is saying this, but that's not true.
Okay, so all right, just summarize those three again real quick. I was doing something, so I missed the last two. Yep. But summarize all three again.
Well, so the viewers of that type of persistent, interactive reality TV, from my analysis, my view of looking into it, is you have your group who are your core reality TV show type watchers who watch it because they get that subconscious benefit of, hey, that person's dealing with shit that makes me feel better about the situation I'm in.
Okay, I can buy that one.
Yep. The third group, the second group, which is more in the middle, are your passersby that it comes up for some sort of curiosity. They start watching it, but they don't really stick around. It's more, it's this kind of stuff. Okay, never mind. Bye-bye. And then you have the third group is people who actually are aware of the players at hand, people who watch our stuff, people who enjoy what we have to offer, who enjoy having the conversations with us, that keep an eye out in case certain things are said. So if we need to be made aware of it, that there's those lines of communication and trust of people who give a shit.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of them do fall in that. Like I said, I know a lot of people that do message me on kind of stuff. And look, I don't sit there and go, hey, look, spy for me. It's not like that at all. It's just that people, for some reason, think I'm the vanguard for all this. And I mean, maybe because I am, I'm the admin of that Facebook group. But by the way, people have gotten completely wrong. Anybody who's in that group knows it's not a troll group. Anybody who's in that group, 600 some odd people in there, any one of them will tell you this is not a troll group. But that don't matter, right? Because I can't make it public because you can't make a private group public. That's a Facebook thing, or else I definitely would. But you know what? Everything I've shared on there, I usually share on my public page as well. There's nothing to hide. It's not some secret group. It's not some oh, I'm going to give orders to people in this group. Like I said, one time I asked people to go to Sherelle's channel to see if she can get in contact with me. That's it. It wasn't like I was like directing my masses. Be like, oh, look at Steve. He's ordering his troops. Nothing like that.
Oh, it's cute that they think you have troops, though.
I could have troops if I wanted troops, could I? No, probably not. Like I said, I think they take advantage of me because I a lot of this is foreign to me. Like, I really wouldn't know how to do any of this stuff my life depended on it. I wouldn't know how to buy subs. I wouldn't know how to hack. I wouldn't know how to get troops and manipulate them. They do because they've mastered this. They've mastered manipulating people. They got it down to an art form, and I've seen it. People know about it. And they're always going to have people watching their stuff. I don't care. All these things that I do on my channel that are not the science and the philosophy relating to this kind of stuff, it's only just for a record for some point later on that one person goes, damn, yeah, you know what? Steve was right. You know what? That's it. Or one person say, you know what? Maybe I should investigate this a little more. That's it. Other than that, it's not going to affect anybody. It's not going to. It's not going to like take down their channels or anything. There's no attempt to do that. I've never silenced anybody. I've never asked anybody to silence anybody. There's a couple times they have crossed the line, right? With the people have reported that I know about, but I don't actively ever tell anybody to do that. But you know what they do, Jared? By the way, you know what they do? They actively go over and say, "Hey, go report all this. Go mass flag these people. Go harass these people." They actively say it.
Oh, I'm one of the people that they said that about. And notice how I've never said in return anything in kind. Now, I do agree, and I think a number of people out there will agree with me when I say this, that there are times that appropriate moderation are needed in a live chat or in the comments of a video, because there are people who intentionally push a line, and the end result of it ends up being that the channel owner is ultimately responsible for what goes on in the live chat and in the comment section. Absolutely. Because hey, we should be watching those comments, and that's why that is actually the main reason for people who have the moderator tags and privileges, because they are supposed to be people that we know and trust enough to help us combat things that are crossing the line. Now, I've never said that anyone should be removed from a platform. I've never said to go flag someone for anything that was unwarranted. Never said it out of spite. Nothing. As a matter of fact, I could absolutely hate a person, and my choice is to, you go in your corner, I'll stay in mine, and we'll leave it at that. And yet there are other people out there on this who has been recorded ranting and raving, go flag this person, I want him removed from the platform, go do it now.
Wasn't there somebody that actually said, hey, I want to get all the content creators and we're going to go to Patreon and try to get Steve's Patreon removed? That didn't happen. That was 4 months ago.
I do recall hearing something of that being said.
I am not going anywhere because I've never broken TOS. Every DFC I've fought and I've won. Every strike, everything that I've ever had, except for one on the other channel that whole apology video. But other than that, on this channel, nothing. Any kind of people that have said I've had a privacy concern, nothing. I will fight all of them, tooth and nail. I mean, seriously. But they have tried, and they'll continue to try in perpetuity. Why? Because they have that cancel culture. Legit, they do not want me to give out the truth. Katie does not want the truth out there. She doesn't. Of course she doesn't. Why would she? Right? Because she knows she's lied from day one. She knows she's never had any story. She knows she just tried to Me Too me. She knows this full well. She knows all that fraud stuff was BS. She knows Kyle lied to her. Every content creator out there knows Kyle lied. Hello? Is this really that big of a secret any longer that he lied? I mean, it's documented. He even admitted that he lied to everything. So, I mean, it's like, of course she does. Here's what I think happened, Jared. This is where I'm going to dive off into opinion land, if that's okay. But my opinion is on this. It's a high probability that when she found out that all this stuff was BS and she was being lied to by Kyle, she said, okay, yes, I was lied to. Throw Kyle under the bus, right? But she didn't want to admit she had lied about the sexual harassment, because that would have been a whole different ballgame. Because when people use sexual harassment as a weapon like that, that can really bring your channel down. I mean, that could harm you personally. And I think that's why she didn't back off, or I think that's why she continued to double down on it and triple down on it rather than just go, look, you know what? I may have by the way, I would have given pushback for this, but if she would have said, I may have taken something you said out of content and I apologize, 50-50 whether I've ever accepted it or not. But she didn't do anything like that, because to me, I would have been like, what the hell you take out of context,
Yeah. Well, and here's another simple dose of reality for those people who may be hard of hearing on certain subjects. A number of us out here have a military background and actually fit in with the military culture, where you end up with a different type of sense of humor and a different verbal filter, where we will say things that are off color without realizing it initially.
Absolutely.
But,
I'm Navy just like you. This is a fact, yes.
But guess what, everyone? If something we said offends you personally that was said in passing or anything, you can say, hey, that thing you just said, I am offended by it. It does bother me. Can you please not do that again? And Steve, what would the reaction be if someone said that to you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say those things around that person. Shocker, right? But hey, how about this?
Imagine that. Be an adult and you can get adult type reactions like that.
I got to call this to a close here soon, but think about this. I like to do arguendo stuff, like, just argue for arguendo. I hate saying for arguendo. It's not for arguendo. It's just arguendo. I always do that. It's not for arguendo. But arguendo, if I would have said a certain word to a certain person that they took offense by, a single instance, that is not constitutive of harassment. That's not what harassment is.
No.
And I can guarantee it, if that did happen, Bull would have known about it. Kyle would have known about it. And I swear to God as my witness, there is no goddamn way on God's green earth that I would have ever used a word like hotness to describe this particular person. Ever. And
now,
so when Katie's like, oh, well, they were commenting how hot I was, that never happened. That never happened. I was talking about Mercedes Carrera, which, by the way, I mean, she's not really my type, but I mean, she is hot, but she was really intelligent. She was articulate, and that was in a tweet, But I mean, it's a specific. By the way, she tried doing the same thing to Matt Bauer. But I just recently found out she's done this to other people before. She literally will make these accusations to anybody that she thinks is a threat. I found out this is a pattern. He was pissed. He was really pissed. He's like, "Are you out of your mind to think that not to me, but to her?" He's like, "You're going to try to Me Too me? Are you kidding?"
And it's always interesting when things like that come out, because I am of the mind where while being a victim of sexual harassment and other things do take multiple forms, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but it's one of those, with the number of false allegations that have been out there is that reason to question and temper reactions immediately after the claim has been made. And even before anything substantial and definitive has been shown to support the claim or not, that's when you really need to temper the reactions and wait for proper justification before responding and reacting as a third party viewing the situation. If you are the person that is being accused against, yes, if you are innocent, it is well within your right to respond in kind that, no, that's not what happened. That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That there is that reasonable and expected response that some people have tried to say that your response was unwarranted. No, the response was warranted. Here's the caveat to it. Here's the minutia to it. if one side actually stuck with what they said they were going to do when they said that they were going to shut up and leave things alone, guess who wouldn't be talking about this right now tonight?
Yeah, and by the way, like you said, Jared, if it was actually a situation where I have said something that I offended somebody and they say, look, I felt uncomfortable, offended, I would apologize. But I know that never happened. That's why I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like,
Now,
no, and real quick, I'm like, first of all, you can't accuse me of sexual harassment, then walk it back and say, well, I was offended because you said something about somebody else, which she did. She legit in a tweet said I was talking about somebody else. And then she said it was about her. And then she said it was in a private conversation with one other person. Then it was in a private conversation with her and I. None of that ever happened. And that's why that's from day one. I just want to get this on record. That is what from day one, I have not changed my story, and I've been saying the same thing. If it was something I actually had said that offended somebody, I would have been like, oh, I'm sorry for it. And then if they were trying to run a narrative on it, I'd have been like, well, that's BS. I apologize for it and whatever. If they want to think it's harassment, that's now it's looking bad for them. But I'm not going to say that I've done something that didn't happen. That's not my nature.
Yeah, the biggest thing here is when you have the truth on your side, you don't need a good memory because the story will remain consistent. Now, there are times that in the case of a traumatic incident where you may block out things, but the core bit of the memory does not change.
Well, it's the funniest thing too, because I had a video out there. It couldn't get monetized. It came back as not monetizable, but that's okay. I don't give a shit about that. But she had said, well, how does Steve know that he said the word penis if you didn't say it? And I actually had tweets of her from like 6 months prior saying that that's what it was. I was like, that's how I knew. And she was trying to run some script to her people going, well, look at Steve. How would he know that this was he said this word if you didn't actually say it? I'm like, because that's what you said in a tweet 6 months ago. And there's a video on my channel of that. Because she's got a crappy memory. She has to keep all her lies straight, and she can't. It's just impossible. There's too damn many of them. I don't have to keep damn things straight because I know what happened. I mean, there's nothing that I have to recreate in my head to go, okay, well, what did I say about this before? No, I say the same thing every time because that's the truth. And by the way, Ms. Manya points this out too. It was a tweet, then it was a pre-show, and then it was a private call with one other person, or in front of, she said with some of the people around, and then it was a private call between her and I. I've never called her. It's like, it's whatever. I'm like, come on. It's like, no. Yeah,
now,
it boggles my mind.
I will say this is a blanket out there to everyone, and I'm going to frame this in a message to Katie Joy on this. If you truly believe and feel that something was done that harmed you in that sort of fashion, as you have already stated that you are seeking legal ramifications, that's great. Because that's where it should be. And
Sure.
You know what else should be done? Do not continue to talk about it in the public sphere, because things that you say can be put back on you from that sphere in this course of action. Now, for those thinking and going with her seeking a restraining order,
That was bizarre.
Here's a wonderful thing about restraining orders. You have to show cause.
Yep, I know.
You have to show that there is an actual
Threat.
Reasonable expectation that the restraining order would be specifically going against.
Yep.
And if she is able to show that, and actually,
I would be able to see what the evidence. It would be documented.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. I'm aware of that. And by the way, Failed Engineering said, yeah, she doesn't remember the date. She doesn't remember the time. She doesn't remember the actual pre-show that it happened. And there's something else she said. I wanted to point out. Oh yeah, she said, yeah, wasn't it Kyle and G that always talked about their male member like every show?
Oh yeah,
every show. And maybe she's misremembering.
Granted,
or maybe I said something to them. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not possible that I didn't say the word. I who the hell know? I did 1,000 shows. But there was never a time that was directed toward her or anything sexualized toward her in any way.
Well,
Any way. Period.
And let's be fair, the whole thing
Nothing.
with Kyle and GE talking about that particular part of anatomy, we kind of have Reds to blame for that one.
Well, I mean, like Manya says, she doesn't remember anything about it, and of course, there's nothing to remember. I was only in 2 pre-shows with her. Both of them, Kyle and Bullen, they were in, and neither one of them have no idea what the hell she's talking about. Even Kyle, he didn't even lie for her on that. Yeah, at first she said she didn't remember. I mean, she even said, yeah, well, I don't remember what it was, and then she started making some stuff up. In the original, she did actually say that word. She actually, the original live chat on the resurrection, she mentioned something about it, but she didn't give any detail about it at all. And then it was like people were asking her, well, what actually happened? And it sounded so stupid because she's like, well, he said the word penis. Okay, that's, first of all, it's not sexual harassment. And second of all, what was the context? Oh, I don't remember what happened. I don't remember the context. I didn't remember anything.
Yeah, and again, in that sort of situation, there is at least a little bit of blame that goes on the person claiming offense if they didn't speak up at the time saying, hey, that made me uncomfortable. Can you please not talk like that?
It was 4 days after, or 4 or 5 days afterwards. On the 11th, June 11th is when Kyle removed me and Bullinator. And then I think it was on Resurrection, which was on the 15th, I believe, give or take. Then that's when all of a sudden, toward the end of the show, end of the episode, like 3/4 of the way in, she tries to throw that grenade because people weren't buying her bullshit because she was the only mod at the time there, I think. I don't remember seeing any other mods. Maybe there was one other. But Kyle was basically running a script going, well, this, and this about. And people were like, hey, dude, you're stealing the channel. You unlawfully removed Steve and Bullinator from their own show. Hey, what's going on here? And boom, she had to defend him, and she thought, oh, I'm going to throw out this Me Too moment. That's exactly what happened. I have this documented. I have the screenshots. I have the video. Like I said, I don't play around. I have more than a exculpatory defense if she wants to take me to court, and I will countersue. I'm giving my solemn word. She will be sued if my lawyer thinks I have a case. If not, then I just defend myself and whatever. But I mean, I'm gonna trust my lawyer on it. But I mean, I'm gonna try to countersue it for just fraud. What do they call it? A frivolous. It's not a slap lawsuit, right? Because
it is frivolous lawsuit.
Frivolous. Yeah, it's technically not a slap because a slap lawsuit is for the government, but it's the same kind of principle. The government, these courts right now are not happy probably with frivolous lawsuits because look what's going on. They have enough backlog, I'm sure. You think they really give a crap about a frivolous lawsuit? Probably not.
Oh, I'm part of a backlog issue because of a situation with my prior employer. And shit happens, and with the way that a bunch of states really did do full-on lockdown for certain services, we're kind of left just, as Heat Still just said, we're left taking a number and waiting our turn.
I had somebody point out the other day that one of the people were talking about my pee-pee, and I'm like, I didn't give you permission to talk about my pee-pee. That's harassment. It's like what the hell? I mean, it's like there's so much hypocrisy out there. By the way, let me throw this out there. There's only one person I've had an interest in for a very long time, and this was during the Con Sequitur show. And people know who she is, right? I mean, I've never expressed interest in anybody else. I've never hit on anybody else. I've only had literally eyes for one person. That's one of the other dumb things. It's like, why would you try to Me Too me on some? I have a lot of attractive women that I care about, and I flirt with and stuff like that. But they know that I literally love one person. Now I got backup plans, right? But whatever. But I mean, just in case things don't work out. But every woman in my life knows I legit care about somebody, right?
Yeah. Then
Manya, you can talk about my pee-pee if you want. I don't care. Jared can too. You guys have permission. But I mean, you guys know that I really do care about somebody an awful lot. I mean, and that's another reason why I'm doing this, because it minimizes and trivializes my affections for somebody. Now, granted, we have a weird relationship because we live so far away from each other, and it's atypical, but
well, yeah, that's exactly it. I would say atypical, not so much weird. But then again, it really depends on the subjective standard of the person looking at it. I mean, being military, being deployed, there is that you get used to that idea of there being separation at times from the person that you are romantically involved with. So
yeah, and by the way, if somebody
why
oh, go ahead.
yeah, well, why some people are see that as an oddity is beyond me at times, but then again, I do recognize that there are people out there who are codependent, who literally cannot go more than, say, a week without having someone that they can be paired up with in a way.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, I'm definitely not codependent, but I've always have been in a relationship all my life. I mean, I've lived with I always had a live-in girlfriend, like legit most of my life. The only time I really didn't was just after my baby's mama and I split up. I was single for about a year or two, but other than that, I think I've always lived with somebody. But you know what? I really do prefer living on my own right now. I mean, when you live with somebody for so long, for your entire life, you know what? You realize there's some benefits of being on your own. But somebody was talking about the restraining order. Look, if somebody said, hey, here's a restraining order, and you have to stop talking about me, I'm going to be like, sue me. Absolutely sue me. You think I'm going to remove these videos? No, because they're not in TOS. These are fair criticisms. Katie Joy Paulson is a journalist in her mind's eye. She claims to be a reporter. She claims to be a journalist. She has a special due diligence to get her facts correct, which she doesn't. And even if she wasn't, it's still not against TOS. These are fair criticisms and fair critiques. That's it. By the way, the stuff that's on me, that's 10,000 times worse. These people do bully, they do harass. I just don't watch it. I don't care. So I don't report them because it doesn't matter anything to me. But there's nothing about this that they should, do a restraining order for. There's just absolutely nothing. Yeah. Any lawyer who watches any of this would be like, this is nonsense.
Well,
and by the way, if I do sue her, all this is on record. And again, my story has not changed. What's her story? Love to hear it.
No, and that's where this situation could get fascinating from a legal analysis standpoint. But beyond that, if she apparently has an issue with you, guess what that means for all of us watching? Fuck all. So guess who should be talking about it and really invested in it? That's not you and Katie.
Well, my view is
hang on. I'm not done with the list yet.
Long list.
Yeah, this is my public appearance and statement about it, where I'm not saying outright at this point that Katie is wrong, fallacious, or even fictitious with what she has claimed and what she is saying that she is pursuing. It's not my position to judge that. That's why they have people called judges. And as for my actions on the topic going forward, my response will be what it was previously. If you have a problem with Steve, form a cogent comment, question, or argument and bring it up to Steve.
Well, bring it up. I don't want to waste my time with you, honestly. Bring it up to Cheshire or you. You have a channel too. You could do. I'll give the same permissions. If somebody wants to go on your channel and present evidence, knock yourself out. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I will take that on a case by case basis.
Yeah, exactly. You deal with flat earthers. You're an independent person. You've always tried to be honest. Knock yourself out. You have my full permission.
Yeah. Well, it's more in general for people who may have criticisms of you and have heard, oh, Steve just silences criticism when you bring it to him. No. He silences people who are dishonest or are refusing to have a proper discourse.
Honest dialogue, or just throw out accusations with no evidence behind it. Because again, everybody's going to come over like, where's their evidence? Oh, well, here's the video of one of your videos. Look, none of my videos are evidence. None of Red's videos are evidence. I want actual freaking, where's the communication of any of this stuff happening? Right? Where's the direct evidence? The first primary sources of this stuff. Secondary sources, third, tertiary, quaternary. These are not sources. I want the direct evidence of any of this stuff happening. I mean,
you know what?
If she's accused me of sexual harassment, don't you think she'd have something concrete? Because there's nothing. Nothing. I'm going to put a big sign above my head. Nothing. People would be like, look at Steve's got nothing in his head.
Yeah. Now, I will agree with Chesh on this. Better yet, make a cogent argument, do a video about it, and DM it to one of us. Now, she did add on no longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and not from anybody there's certain people that will just, because they're trolls. They're sort of their own trolls. They don't qualify for this, okay? But if they have an argument, they can give it to somebody else, and the other person could give it a shot. But there's certain reasons, and Chess knows why, and you know why. We don't promote certain people, and all they will do is make some bullshit video to try to get promotion. That's not going to happen.
Now, I will say that depending on the subject matter, 5 minutes might not be enough. But here's the 2 requirements for it. It needs to be cogent, which means it needs to be understandable, and it also needs to be concise.
Okay, I agree with that.
Don't ramble off. Don't go on tangents. Just, this is my issue. Here's the evidence of the behavior that I have, or whatever it is. This is why I have this issue. And really, if you do that, then a conversation can start. If you have a rational origination of your issue with any of us, that's all you have to do.
Yeah, I'm okay
Show
with
it. Hey, don't just say it.
By the way, that same thing happened, not to dig up old memories, but the same thing kind of happened with Fight the Flat Earth and things like with Team Skeptic, like that. All you got to do is have a cogent argument. And by the way, we'll get things resolved. We do. Yeah. We always seem to get things resolved. But that's the type of community we have. We have a very strong community that's grounded in things like critical thinking and having a way to try to get it to the truth. Now, can we always arrive to it? No, of course not. But we do try. But these other people, again, they're not interested in the truth. They will never be interested in the truth. They have said they don't give a damn about the truth. They will make stuff up. They will lie. That's the type of channels they have. We cannot stop them. I don't suggest we have a try. I just want people to be aware of it. That's what we're doing here. Now, tomorrow I'm going to have, I think, Snake on. I think we're going to do part 3. I got Dr. John Kroon coming on to do general relativity. I've got... Actually, we're going to do special relativity first. What else do we have? Yeah, we're going to do the easy stuff first.
Just send me a message to remind me when that show is going to be, because that'll be an interesting watch.
Yeah.
Well, to me it will be, because I do enjoy seeing how different people tackle trying to explain a topic like that, because there is enough nuance to it that different people have different ways of explaining it that some may or may not agree with. And that's part of the great thing with this, is there are minds out there. There are people out there who can have those discussions where initially you may be like, but wait a minute, isn't it like this? And then you can actually talk through and actually get to a common understanding.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. A couple things are going on, I guess, also on Cheshire's got some stuff coming on. And sometime either this week or next week, Sweet Heathen will be on her channel addressing some very specific stuff that has happened to her. She needs to prepare for it mentally and evidentially and a few other things, but she will be talking about that. And I support her 1,000%. People know that. It's just what she wants to do. I don't have a say in it one way or another, but she supposedly is going to be on Cheshire's channel talking about certain things. And I think Cheshire's channel is probably the best place to do it. So if you haven't subscribed to Cheshire, go over there and subscribe, because she's got really good insight on stuff on the
that time of the month with Manya and the Serrated Kiss and well, Sweet's not on often, but she's on about half the time. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. Jared, thanks for coming in. I think that we've put out all we need to put out. Hopefully, I can go back to some other things for a little while, like go back to the science and philosophy like to do. Now I know Sherelle is going to contact me tomorrow. She's supposed to. We're supposed to have an interview on Saturday. I don't know for a fact that's going to happen. Again, 50-50. The last thing she has said to me that it will, but I don't know because Sherelle is really concerned about Katie Joy Paulson contacting some of her friends and talking about certain things that she really has no business talking about. So it's up in the air. And either way, I support Sherelle 1,000%. She's going to probably come on. We're going to be doing a show, not a show, but we're going to be doing a thing on movies. Right? We're going to forget about those crappy people. We're just going to have some fun for a change and talk about movies because she knows I don't talk about reality TV because I don't know anything about it. But so that, guys, stay safe. Again, I appreciate you guys indulging me in this. I know a lot of my Patreons don't really care about this kind of stuff. In fact, some of them are actively against it. But I will say this again for the millionth time. I cannot please everybody, and I'm not going to try. But I'm not going to stop telling the truth. I'm not going to stop defending myself. I'm not going to stop defending my friends. And I'm sure the hell not going to let Katie Joy Paulson say things that are absolutely not true and not challenge her for it by where's the evidence. And that's what this video is about. Good night.